So, hello everybody! What is going on? It is Kiba Ishimaki here, and welcome back to some more Pokemon Emerald! Last time, well, we decided to tackle Trainer Hill finally, taking it on and seeing all that there was for us to obtain. Or really just exploring everything, getting the reward and taking on the little trial challenge. I didn't make it to the end, of course, but I mean, that's more so a personal challenge for another time, for me to give it a surefire attempt. This time, well, we have nothing more to do but to press on and check out around here by Fall Arbor. We want to go to the Fossil Man's house because if we do so, if you make Pokemon dig inside a cave, you return to the entrance. You return to the Fossil Maniac's house. In here, there is, well, something of big interest. You're definitely going to want to stop by after clearing the Hall of Fame, or joining the Hall of Fame, and we see, if we try to come here before, the Fossil Maniac would be digging up against the wall. Fossils are so wonderful, so dreamy. If we came here before, oh, it's not safe that way. I was digging away, you see, when the whole wall collapsed. I think there's a giant cavern underneath now, but I've left it alone because I don't think there are any fossils there. Yeah, there's a hidden path. A hidden path called the Desert Underpad. And we get to hear this wonderful Team Aqua, Team Magma theme playing once more as we press through to see just what is hidden within this place. It is a long-winded path. However, within this long-winded path is one item at the very end for us, along with a few new encounters. First up, the item at the very end is the fossil that you skipped out on earlier. If you picked the claw fossil like I did, you got yourself Anorith. However, if you picked the roots, if you picked Anorith, you would find yourselves the root fossil. If you picked the root fossil, you'd find the claw. Again, you have available now both fossilized Pokemon, Lilip and Anorith, to your party. Along with that, the Pokemon encounterable here, of course, are Whismur and Loudred, but you also have the high chance of finding a very unknown Pokemon that is Ditto. No one's really quite aware of how it ended up here. But what is to know for sure is that it's a failed Pokemon. It's goopy, it's a mess, and it only knows one move, which is Transform. Its ability is typically Limber, meaning you cannot paralyze it. It's honestly a pretty straightforward Pokemon. Nothing too major to note about it. It just exists to transform into you, and serves no other purpose other than breeding if you so choose to go after that. Aside from that, there's nothing more to note with Ditto. It's an interesting Pokemon through and through, and can really just do whatever it is you might ask of it. It can copy opponents' moves. Upon transforming into them, it'll copy their typing, their nature, their abilities. However, it won't pop up on your screen, of course, but it will pop up on theirs, and you can use those moves 5 times each throughout the battle. Aside from that, as I've said before, we gotta return to Mauville, because there is a certain someone that we have to go visit and see just what is going on. If you remember, we had met the Berrymaster just to the right of Mauville. You just had to continue a bit further to reach that place, where there was a bunch of other berries for us to grab and use. Go. Yeah, just a random encounter. Let's just run. Well, okay, I guess we're gonna attack it. Don't really need anything in particular from these. Just to give me the experience, so let's run. Go. Now that almost all, well, story-based stuff are unlocked, we can now fully see just what the Berrymaster and his wife are able to provide for us. On approaching, of course, there are trainers that should have been able to KO already, picked up all the items. Let's head in and let's see what the Berrymaster has to say. call me the Berrymaster. I dream of filling the world with beautiful flowers, so I raise berries, hand them out to everyone. You deserving of one. We receive the Kelpsie berry. Nice. Why be stingy? Take another. Another Kelpsie berry. Nice. Be sure to visit the Pretty Petal Flower Shop near Rustboro. Let flowers fill the world. The way my husband grows berries, oh, he's the best in the world. He makes me proud that he does. Incidentally, child, have you heard a good saying lately? This lady, the Berrymaster's wife, will give you a berry based off of what saying you tell her. Each of them are different, and each of them are unique. First up, let's try. Let's go into select mode because that'll be a lot easier for myself. First one we're going to want to put in is great. Let's see if we can find it quick. Great battle. First one up. Ah, what a remarkable saying. Inspirational it is. I want you to have this. We obtained the Spellon berry. Rare berries are available upon clearing, really, just this. Our 4 grandchildren should become more accomplished than my husband. Joy never goes out of my life. There we go. I believe we have to leave and re-enter now to be able to talk with her again and get more. Let's try. Or is it just once per day? Oh, I think it's just once per day. Or something like that. But, if you come back here... Yeah. You random berry moves. Okay. Yeah, no. So, you come back once per day, give her a different saying, or say something different, you'll get some new kind of berry. Of course, we already got the Spellon berry, and that's already completely new. I thought we were going to be able to give her multiple. It seems like we can only do it once per day. Let's go look at the berries real quick. Spellon. Well, there's a Kelpsie. There it is. Spellon. Let's check the tag for it. Spicy and dry. Vividly red berry is very spicy. Its warts secrete a spicy substance. The other berries you can obtain upon telling her something specific. Once you clear the Pokemon, or you enter the Hall of Fame, if you tell her challenge contest, she will give you a palm tree berry. Upon spotting the blue Pokemon, you enter the term overwhelming said Pokemon's name, you obtain the Watermelon berry. Upon putting in something. What the by the Berrymaster Rush. Sorry, brain fart. With the red berry. Oh, excuse me. The other one, the Watermelon berry, is obtained by saying overwhelming red Pokemon's name. To get the Durin berry, you enter in cool blue Pokemon. Eventually, you'll learn what this Pokemon is as we encounter it, but I mean, it'll take some time. And you can obtain the Blueberry upon punching in Super Hustle. If you don't give her any special saying, she will give you one of a few berries at random, which could be Cherry, Chesto, Pecha, Rost, a Spear, Lepa, Oran, Lum, or Citrus. Really, it's just all completely at random, and anyone can really obtain it. But all of these other ones are pretty rare, and upon obtaining all 5, she will give you special items, or 1 berry per day, or I think you said 1 berry every time you ask her, plus another one from the random group of 10. So you get plenty of berries, in all honesty, as long as you kind of just talk with her and give it an honest shot. Aside from that, let me go ahead and reload, and we shall see just what we can, what are the other sayings, or at least, I guess the other 2, or the other 3. And, no, really, it's just one other one. I'll come back here then. We already got a great battle, so challenge contest, overwhelming red name, cool blue name, and then super hustle. So we'll have to come back in due time, and get the other ones. Other than that, let's hop on Nova. Now where we're going to fly off to is we are going to head over by Lily Cove. We're not going to jump onto the ferry just yet. Instead, where we're going to go is we're going to go over to the Safari Zone. Because if you do remember, we can now fully explore it and see all that there is openly available to us. The last few areas that are available, at least. We've been here before, we know the rules. 500 Pokédollars to enter, 30 Pokeball Safari Balls, and 500 step limit. We want to try to get all the ones that we can, but what we're after is the new ones we can encounter upon entering the new areas. Go, let's not waste any time, let's move as quickly as we can. So we want to head up here and straight to the right. We see that those guys are out of the way. Now we have a new area. Safari Zone's expansion project is finished now. Hope you will enjoy the new areas. There's 2 of them. And with them there's new Pokemon to encounter from both Johto and Kanto. First up I guess is Spinarak. Spinarak is a bug poison type. Pretty interesting Pokemon, evolves into Ariados, I believe at level 30, so it's a 1 level away pretty much. If you're looking for dex completion, you can find loads of Pokemon that you need here in the Safari Zone alone. But Spinarak as a Pokemon is decently fast, being a bug poison type, can dish out some really good damage and has some decent defenses, though it's more so meant to be an attacker, I believe physical if anything. It is honestly a good, interesting choice if you're looking for a poison type, and is able to move and react pretty quickly, and a lot faster than you think. It's almost over. Moving on, we have Apom. Apom is a pure normal type. It doesn't evolve in this game quite yet, but Apom is a Pokemon that is kind of lackluster because it cannot evolve. It doesn't gain the variety of stats that it does later on upon evolving, though it does do some good damage, hit pretty hard, and serves pretty well in situations you'd least expect it to. Being a normal type, it can learn a variety of moves, but it is still a bit frail when you think about it. Moving on, we have Ladybug. Might as well try and catch some of them. Ladybug is a bug flying type, a pretty interesting Pokemon to say the least. It is pretty frail at first, doesn't do a lot of damage, however upon hitting level 28 or 30 I believe, it evolves into Ladyin, which is again a bug flying type, not the fastest, not the most powerful, but has slightly updated stats, can hit a lot harder, and learns pretty interesting moves such as Bullet Punch, which is pretty rapid and very fast. Good addition to your team if you're looking for something new, different, and I recommend a Ladybug and a Ladyin because they're pretty good Pokemon despite being pretty frail and very low on defenses. Okay, next up, who's next? It is Mareep. Even though we probably won't run into one that fast, Mareep is a pure electric type and probably one of my favorite electric types. It is a little sheep that, well, tends to have some problems. It is a bit frail at the beginning, has more physical offense than defenses, though it is meant to be a physical attacker, which makes a lot of sense, but it kind of stands out being a pure electric type. Wanting to be a physical attacker doesn't fit quite in, or as well as you think. Moving along from that, it evolves at 15 into Flappy, and then 30 into Ampharos, which is, again, a pretty powerful electric type. Though being an electric type, it is not the fastest. It's actually pretty slow, not that bulky, and kind of goes down easily in a lot of fights. It's kind of frail, but again, it can hit pretty hard, it can dish out some good damage, and it has some decent stats that allow it to live when you least expect it. Continuing on, we have Ursa, because why not? Probably one of the best normal types that are available in Johto, and now to us. Oh, well, hurry then. Ursa, again, pure normal type, has pretty decent defenses and offenses, being a physical attacker and a good, decent physical wall. It can tank a lot of damage, dish out some good damage, and has loads of health to stand in with its stats. Being a normal type, it can learn a variety of moves and can really cover just about anything, even its own weaknesses, being able to learn Aerial Ace. I highly recommend getting it to Ursa if you're looking for something new and different. Ursaring is a great Pokemon. Of course, it is very slow, so it probably won't last, or it probably might take a while for it to get its moving or its footing. But once it gets going, it really just steamrolls through a lot of things you wouldn't expect it to. Continuing on, there is Sunkern, which is a pure grass type actually. I believe it evolves via a Sunstone into Sunflora. If not, it's level up at 20 or 30, or 20s to 30s. Sunflora is kind of frail, and honestly, it's not the strongest grass type. It is probably one of the weakest. It's more so meant to be a stall and kind of help you catch Pokemon, not really be a primary focus in battle. But if you want to optimize it, you can, and use it to your liking and enjoy the fun you can with it. Sunkern is an interesting Pokemon. It's kind of frail, kind of weak, but can evolve into something great despite being a bit fragile. Can dish out some good damage, learn some good grass type moves, as well as poison type moves and other moves that can inflict loads of status ailments on your opponent. Next up is Hoothoot, and you are all familiar with my experience with Hoothoot, seeing as I used one back in my Crystal Let's Play. Hoothoot is a normal flying type, learns some pretty decent moves and evolves in the 20s, I believe, into Noctowl. Pretty decently fast, is a bit bulkier than most normal types, learns psychic type moves via level up as well, and can dish out some good damage while still being pretty fast. You can put opponents to sleep with Hypnosis, can use Dream Eater, funny enough, and can really just hold out when you least expect it. Continuing on, we have Goligar, which is a bit of a rare encounter. Goligar is a ground flying type, a pretty rare and interesting type to say the least, as it can just be that. It is a ground flying type, it holds out more defensively than offensively, and it doesn't have that stardom that its evolution carries over in Gen 4, but in Gen 3 it has a uniqueness of its own, being a ground flying type and having very low weaknesses, even not having a weakness to electric, but at times for weakness to ice. So it's a bit of a trade-off, an interesting Pokemon that can dish out some good damage, tank some good damage, but can get obliterated pretty easily, although being somewhat fast, it is not faster than you would hope. Continuing on, my goodness, there are loads of Pokemon. There is Snubble, another great normal type that is available to you here, though it is a bit on the rarer side, along with Goligar. Snubble is a pure normal type, learns some pretty stellar moves. Being a normal type can learn anything, can cover a lot of weaknesses, can dish out loads of damage when you want it to, and can tank some in return. It is not as beefy as Ursaring, but it's still pretty powerful, and honestly a bit more powerful, though it does not have as much defense as Ursaring does. Moving on, there is also Stantler. Stantler in this generation and everything up before Legends Arceus is a pure normal type. Though it can learn a variety of moves, it is more so especially inclined, I believe. So again, teaching it special type attacks can be really beneficial to yourself and to it. These Pokemon, or at least Goligar, Snubble, and Stantler, are found on the previous area to the south. You can find them in the grass, of course. They are low encounter rates, but they are interesting Pokemon. Really good to pick up if you're looking for any new additions, any new normal types, or you just want something different to grab, or some Dex Pokemon to find in the game. You have yourself in the water. If you decide to surf down there, you could find yourself some Whoopers and Quagsires. Whooper evolves into Quagsire, I believe, in the 30s, or at least around like 30 itself. It's a pretty powerful Pokemon. It's straight up a little derp, but can still be pretty good being a water ground type, having a weakness to grass only, but a strength against electric. It can prove very fruitful in fights you would least expect it to. It can dish out some good damage. It's more so meant to be a tank and kind of stall, but again, if you need it to sweep, it can do just that when called upon and when necessary. Fishing. If you attempt to fish, you can find yourself Remoraid and its evolved form Octillery. Remoraid evolves at level 25, a pretty decent Pokemon, to say the least. Pretty frail, however, upon evolving into Octillery, it learns the move Octozuka, which is unique to it and of itself. Can lower the opponent's defense, is base 100 power, has, I believe, 75 to 90 accuracy, so still pretty good of a move and a pretty good shot, and it learns Lock-On just before evolving, so it's pretty good Pokemon. to say the least. It is not the most fast or the most powerful. It's more so meant to last, having loads of HP and defenses, as well as ready to stall when needed. Now, moving on from those few, there are, I believe, some rocks up here that you can smash. Might as well go over the three that I kept encountering up here, which was Pineco and Houndhour. Pineco is a pure bug type, an interesting Pokemon that evolves at the 30s into Fortress, which is a bug steel type. Takes away its flying from its weakness to flying, however gains a ×4 weakness to fire. More so meant to be physically defensive, very bulky, a bit slow, but can set up great things like spikes, stealth rocks, and any sort of entry hazards that you may want or need on your team. Can also learn moves like Protect and Detect, and kind of meant to act as a stall overall against any of your opponents. Houndour, Fire Dark type, an interesting Pokemon and an interesting combination to say the least. We see that there are some items that I'm missing out on that I should probably get. Houndour as a Pokemon is more so meant to be, I believe, especially offensive with a bit of decent physical defense. So it can hold out in some situations, dish out some stellar damage. Has a few interesting weaknesses, being bug, but it's strong against it as well. Water and ground, but has a strength against grass, bug, and psychics, as well as ghosts. So yeah, the versatility at its finest with what it's weak to and what it's strong against. Very limited in that sense at the same time, but a stellar Pokemon nonetheless, and definitely something worthwhile to keep an eye out on. The rarest one you can find, and one member I'm quite familiar with, is Miltank. Miltank's a pure normal type, probably the rarest thing you'll find in here. It's a pretty decently built Pokemon. Has stellar defenses, no matter what way you look at it. Can hold out pretty well in a lot of various situations. Has good defenses and good offenses. Pretty fast for what you would expect of a single evolution Pokemon, but still a power and a threat to never forget. It's also shiny form is blue, which is really sick, and I kind of wish I found one I played through Crystal, but I didn't. But, I mean, hey, it's a good Pokemon nonetheless. One of the few Pokemon that can breed with Tauros, and it's still a stellar Pokemon overall that can learn a variety of moves to cover its own weaknesses, as well as cover weaknesses upon your team. Last up is those rocks above us. If you decided to smash them, there is a chance that you will find a Shuckle. Shuckle is a rock bug type, one of the few that exists up to this point. Its defenses are absolutely stellar. Its speed is pretty bad, and so are its attack stats. But it's meant to be like that because it's built to be an absolute unit of a wall. It's literally meant to tank every ounce of damage thrown at it, and kind of just stall and give you time to figure stuff out and plan against things. It has a unique move of Power Trip, I believe, or not Power Trip. I forget what it's called. It's like, I don't remember what the move is called exactly, but it has a special move where it basically flips its attack and defenses and allows it to have a stellar attack stat compared to its defense stat, making it way more frail, but allowing it to actually be competitively viable and being able to dish out loads of damage. Of course, you would need for it to swing fast immediately, but that's all up to the way you set it and how you're able to really plan things out for yourself. There we go. That was a lot of Pokemon to go over and a lot of information to cover. But yeah, that's the Safari Zone. That's loads of Johto Pokemon you could run into, and just in time too. There's a lot of hidden items over in those areas. The few that I missed out on, there's some PP ups, some full restores, and some big pearls, some zincs. We got a nugget, and there's also a rare candy hidden in there. Now, with Safari Zone completely cleared out of the way, nothing more to really do except go back to grab those items that I skipped out on. I will meet you guys over back by Fortree City. Mainly the Weather Institute, because there's some news there that we definitely need to check out. That'll be it for now, though. Hope you guys did enjoy. Hope you guys continue to enjoy. And I will, of course, be seeing all you dudes next time. Peace out, everybody.